Hey, this is Ben Solomon, and welcome to the Techno Leadership Show. In this episode, we are going to be covering the critical skill that'll help you in your tech career and in life. Now, before I go straight into the skill, it is one of those things that we, especially those of us who go into the technology and engineering space, tend to kind of not give a lot of credibility to. And it's one of those things that most people have a tendency to diminish in its value. But this one skill, this one function, if it didn't exist, we wouldn't have commerce, we wouldn't have business, we wouldn't have anything running. So you're thinking, what is this skill? Well, it's the ability to sell. So sales and its associated skills that come with it, which is persuasion, influence, and things like negotiation. They're all part and parcel of that whole package of sales. And unfortunately, sales has been given a bad name by certain industries. Used car salesman is one of those things that come to mind when you think about sales. And if you are someone who has a parent who is from like a Southeast Asian kind of background, again, people who are in sales are generally looked down on in such a culture. In the Southeast Asian culture, Indian, Sri Lankan culture, there is a higher level of value attributed to doctors, engineers, teachers, those sort of roles. If you say you're a salesperson, they look down upon you. It's an ingrained thing. It's almost like, subconsciously, it's as if people feel like selling is manipulation or stealing. Because one of the things that I've heard my father talk about over the years is, these salespeople, they are robbers and they're thieves, sort of thing. And I've gone, why? I didn't understand it when I was younger. As I grew up and really went into engineering and all that, that mindset was still there because, years and years of being told that. So I was like, why? But, I'm the sort of person who kind of questions and tries to understand why something is a certain way. So I asked them multiple times. Even recently, my parents been a bit like, salespeople sort of thing. But what I've personally found is that without sales, nothing can exist. No business, no commercial entity can exist. No matter what kind of engineer you are, no matter what kind of technologist you are, for you to have a job, for you to be able to do what you're great at, someone in the organization needs to do the selling. So they're the ones who bring in the customers. And because your business has customers who pay the business, is why there is a need for technology to support the business and provide innovation for the business. There's a need for engineers to be able to fulfill what's been sold by the business. Yes, it is a mutual relationship in that sort of sense, where you need the fulfillment arm to be able to fulfill what's been promised in the front. But without the hard job of selling happening up front, you don't have a job. I don't have a job, if you want to look at it that way. So I think we need to start giving sales and marketing the respect and the reverence that they deserve in a commercial environment. And even if you're working in a non-for-profit or education or whatever it might be, someone still had to sell people on the fact that they needed to come and study or come and give money to the non-for-profit so that they can do the good work that they're there to do. And for us, we use the strategies and tactics from sales in leading our teams, because we've got to sell them the big idea, the big vision that everyone's working towards so that the outcomes can be achieved. It's sales and the influence and persuasion is going to be needed when you're going in to get funding for projects that you need to get done. It's needed when you're negotiating with vendors to get the best possible deal that you can get for the business. It's needed when you're negotiating with your team members to get certain things done. And it's something that's needed in your life to negotiate with kids, spouse, family, relative, friends, whatever it might be. So it's one of those skills that if you focus a bit of attention and really understand what it is, you will be able to get so much more leveraged value out of it in your life. I personally, my mindset is that when I'm applying for a job, my cover letter is my marketing piece, or in the business world it's known as copywriting, and the art is known as copywriting, and that letter is called a sales letter. So that cover letter that I send for a role that I am interested in to get the interview is a sales letter saying, this is the value that I'm bringing to your business if given the opportunity. And then you're selling the fact that they should give you the interview. And then when you get into the interview, you're there selling them on the fact, the people on the panel, on why you are the most valuable person and the most appropriate, right, perfect person for the role that they've advertised. That's just the way the world works. That's just the way things are. And the better you get at it, the better you can function in a tech role, but also as you move towards management and executive leadership, the better honed your ability to sell, persuade, and influence are, the better you can perform, better you can work with your teams, but better you can also work with other stakeholders to achieve a common good. So there are a lot of really good books out there that you can start with for sales. One of the books out there is The Psychology of Selling by Brian Tracy. There are some really goods by Zig Ziglar on sales. Brian Tracy's got a few other books as well on closing sales and all that. And then you have Spin Selling, S-P-I-N Selling. That's a really good book. And especially if you're in the technology space, Spin Selling as well as The Challenger Sale are books that would be more appropriate, because a lot of the things that we do in the technology space is we question, we ask, almost business analysis we do to understand the problem and the kind of solution that they're looking for, and then tailor the solution to that. And so understanding the right questions to ask, the right way to present things, and right way to position things, you get from these books. And then I also recommend The Art of Selling by Brian Tracy for people who are looking to go and interview for jobs, because it's got a lot of strategies in there on how to sell better, how to enhance your selling ability. Also includes one of the exercises that I recommend to people on that, i.e. visualization of seeing yourself selling, seeing yourself and becoming comfortable with the fact of that you're selling and you're selling well. So it is a critical skill. It is one that is almost villainized, is the word, by engineers and technologists. I've been to seminars where it's entrepreneurial seminars where I've had some brilliant technologists, guys who are great coders, great infrastructure engineers and all that, stand up and say, look, I hate sales, and I think sales is, all the negative connotations that they've had about sales because of bad experiences and that, used car salesman sales that they've encountered. But true selling is about leadership and leading the prospect to the best possible outcome for them, not for us, for them, which is also leadership. If you're leading a team, you've got to do everything for your team members, not for you, but for them. When you do for them, when you help them make the best decision for them, that also then has a flow-on effect where it helps you achieve the goals that you're there to drive and achieve. Anyway, so that sales is one of those skills that touches every aspect of your life, and especially if you're aspiring to go into management and leadership, it will come in handy and it'll make your life so much more easier in those roles. And also obviously interviewing, interpersonal relationships with people in your life, persuading, influencing, all of that. So hopefully this gives you a different perspective on sales, and hopefully it helps you clean up some of the negative views that you may have of sales and selling. And you can invest into those books and learn and embed that into you, so that when you go for interviews, when you go for putting in proposals and doing presentations to get funding and things like that, you can present in the best possible way that always is looking at things from the view of the person that you are selling to. So hopefully that helps you out, and I wish you all the best in your journey as a tech professional, manager and leader. If you like this episode, please hit the like button, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please hit the subscribe button so that you're notified of future episodes as they are released. Have a fantastic day, and I'll talk to you in a future episode. Take care.